Hello students, Ms. Swanson here, and today we're taking a look at photosynthesis. Now, I like this picture here because it shows most of what happens during photosynthesis. You can see at the bottom of the picture, water is taken in through the roots, and that's used for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide comes in through the leaves, which is also used for photosynthesis. The sun is sending light energy down towards the plant, and that energy is needed to make photosynthesis occur. You can see that oxygen is created by the plant and given off through the leaves. And then the only piece that's sort of missing in this picture is the creation of sugar, which is stored in the plant, and it's also used by the plant to grow and to survive. So let's take a look at our learning goals. You should be able to describe the purpose of photosynthesis. You should be able to write and understand the equation for photosynthesis, both the word equation and the chemical equation. And you should be able to describe how different parts of the leaves each have specific roles in photosynthesis. So first of all, photosynthesis is used to make food, so sugar, and oxygen for the plant. Now, we also breathe that oxygen. It's important for people to have plants and also some types of algae to create oxygen for us to breathe, but the plants also breathe in that oxygen. So they need oxygen and sugar, and photosynthesis makes that for them. So it converts light energy into chemical energy. What that means is that it's taking light energy from the sun, or if they're inside, maybe light energy from a light bulb, and converts it into chemical energy, which means it creates new chemical bonds, in this case sugar, and that sugar can be used for the plant to grow, or it can be used to help it reproduce, or various different purposes. So that chemical energy is in the form of sugar. For photosynthesis to occur, it requires light, water, and carbon dioxide, and it produces oxygen and glucose. Glucose is a type of sugar, so that's the food that's made by the plant. So let's take a look at the equations for photosynthesis. The word equation is carbon dioxide and water produce glucose and oxygen through the use of light energy. So that would be our word equation. The chemical equation, the balanced chemical equation, is written below, and you can see there are numbers in there. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O gives you 1 C6H12O6 plus 6 O2. When I ask for a balanced chemical equation, those coefficients must be in there. Now in the picture you can see there's no coefficients in the picture. That would be the skeletal equation. I can't imagine a situation where I would ask you for the skeletal equation, so make sure you're giving me the balanced chemical equation that has those coefficients written in there. Now let's take a look at the anatomy of a leaf and how the different parts of the leaf are important for photosynthesis. So first of all, it's the ground tissue in leaves, specifically the palisade layer, which is responsible for photosynthesis. So we talked about the different types of tissues in a previous lesson. If you don't remember those tissues, or if you haven't watched the video, please go back and watch that video. I'll put a link in the description box below. So leaves are very wide and very thin, and they're packed tightly with a certain type of cell in what we call the palisade layer. And they contain many chloroplasts, and chloroplasts are responsible for photosynthesis. So they're a type of organelle, just like all the other organelles we learned in cells, and they are responsible for photosynthesis. Underneath the palisade layer, so those tightly packed cells, there are very loosely spaced cells called the spongy mesophyll. And in the spongy mesophyll, oxygen and carbon dioxide are able to sort of flow through very easily. So we said that in order for photosynthesis to occur, we need carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide can diffuse through the spongy mesophyll to get to the closely packed palisade layer for photosynthesis to occur. And then oxygen is created in the palisade layer, and then it can diffuse out through the spongy mesophyll. The next part are the stomata, and these are actually just holes or openings in the bottom of the leaf. And that allows carbon dioxide to come in and oxygen to go out. And surrounding those stomata are what we call guard cells, and these guard cells can squeeze shut or open up completely to allow the gases to come in and go out, or to keep them from going in and out. So let's say the plant is in a situation where photosynthesis is not possible. Maybe there's no light, or the plant is under very much bad conditions for photosynthesis. Maybe the plant is dying, it's struggling for whatever reason, it's too cold for photosynthesis. There can be all sorts of reasons. The guard cells are going to close to prevent the oxygen and carbon dioxide from going through. The next part is the cuticle, and this is sort of a waxy covering over the top of the leaf that prevents damage to the leaf and also prevents water loss. We know that water is responsible for part of photosynthesis, and if the plant is losing water, it won't be able to do photosynthesis. And then finally we have the chloroplasts. So these are organelles that are inside of plants, and you can see the picture on the right there. You can actually see those little chloroplasts, those dark colored, dark green colored organelles, and this is where photosynthesis occurs, and it contains something called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is just a green pigment, so that's what gives those, that picture on the right, that's what gives those organelles that green color, and that's where photosynthesis will occur. So let's take another look at our learning goals. You should be able to describe the purpose of photosynthesis. You should be able to write and understand the equation for photosynthesis. And you should be able to describe how the different parts of leaves have specific roles in photosynthesis. If you can do all these things, fantastic. If not, please rewatch the video. And if you're still having trouble, come ask me in class tomorrow. Alright, that's all for now. Bye-bye.